Trump posted on Truth Social, "At the Pope, do your job as Pope, diplomacy isn't your business." Not a press conference, not an official statement, he just posted it, and the whole world moved. Within minutes, every news outlet was running the quote. Within hours, it had reached millions of Catholics. Within a day, it dominated every platform. The Pope didn't hold a press conference, he issued a statement, both sides mobilized. This diplomatic incident only existed because it was posted on social media first. Here's what's strange: Trump can call a press conference whenever he wants. He commands every major network simultaneously. He can speak with the full weight of the presidential office behind him. But he didn't, he posted on Truth Social instead, and somehow that worked better. So the question isn't whether Trump likes social media. It's why the most powerful man in the world chooses the cheapest, most informal channel, and why it turns out more effective than all the official ones. That's the structure we need to understand. A press conference costs something. You need staff to prepare it. You need time to set it up. You need cameras, microphones, a room, and most importantly, you need journalists. That last part is the real cost, because when a message goes through a journalist, it gets filtered, it gets reframed. A journalist takes what you said and puts it in context. They add their interpretation. The message that reaches people isn't the message you sent, it's the message after it's been processed through someone else's judgment. Truth Social costs nothing. A post takes 30 seconds. It reaches millions of people with zero filtering, no journalist to reinterpret it. No context added by someone else, just the raw words exactly as Trump wrote them. This isn't about convenience, this is about transmission cost. Think of it like this: a middleman adds margin. You make something, sell it to a wholesaler, the wholesaler sells it to the customer. Somewhere in that chain, value gets extracted. Truth Social is selling direct to the consumer. No middleman, no margin lost to interpretation. A press conference is expensive because it requires institutional infrastructure. A social media post is cheap because it requires none. And cheap channels reach more people faster than expensive ones. That's just how information moves. Trump didn't choose Truth Social because he's a teenager. He chose it because the cost structure made it the strongest weapon available. When Trump posts on Truth Social, the words are sharp, weak, terrible, sad. They're not diplomatic language, they're not measured, they're designed to provoke. The intuitive read is that he can't help himself, that he lacks discipline, that he's just venting his frustration online like anyone else would. But then something interesting happens. When media outlets cover the post, they quote those exact words verbatim. Trump called the Pope weak and terrible. They're criticizing him while spreading his message word for word. That's not an accident. A traditional press conference requires neutral tone. The president speaks with formality. The language is official. By the time it reaches people, the emotional temperature has been lowered. It sounds like government business. Truth Social maintains the temperature. The raw emotion stays intact. The aggression stays intact. When media quotes it, they have to quote it hot. There's no way to sanitize it and still cover the story accurately. So Trump's words spread faster and hotter through criticism than they would through official channels. The more outlets criticize him for being inflammatory, the more people see exactly how inflammatory he was. It's like controversial advertising. The ad people hate is the ad people remember. The ad gets criticized precisely because it sticks. Trump's social media isn't accidental venting. It's designed so that media outlets must repeat his exact words to criticize him. Criticism becomes distribution. That's message control through channel structure, not through tone management. Trump's supporters react intensely to his Truth Social posts. They amplify them, they defend them, they fight in the comments. When he attacks the Pope, they mobilize instantly. The intuitive explanation is loyalty. They're fans, they'll support whatever he does. But here's what doesn't fit that explanation. The Pope is American, millions of Catholics support Trump. This isn't a clean us versus them situation, there's actual tension inside his coalition. Yet the Pope still consolidates his base, so why? Traditional media demands neutral tone. When a story gets filtered through journalists, the emotional intensity gets diluted. A heated conflict becomes a controversy. Raw anger becomes tensions. By the time it reaches people through official channels, the temperature has dropped. Truth Social keeps the temperature intact. The message reaches supporters exactly as hot as it was written. No cooling off period, no neutral framing, just the raw binary, you're with me or against me. Supporters don't consolidate around logic. They consolidate around felt emotional temperature. A lukewarm message delivered through official channels doesn't move people the same way a white-hot message delivered directly does. A press conference would require diplomatic language. That language would feel weak to his base. Truth Social skips all of that. It goes straight from Trump's mind to his supporters' feeds without cooling down in between. It's like calling someone directly versus sending them a formal letter. The direct call hits harder. The emotional force comes through unfiltered. Truth Social is Trump calling his base directly. Journalists are the middlemen he's bypassing. This isn't about Trump being angry at the Pope. This is a structural choice about channel costs and message control. A press conference is official, it's formal, it carries the weight of the presidency, but it's slow, it gets filtered. The message gets processed through journalists who reframe it, soften it, put it in context. By the time it reaches supporters, the emotional force has been diluted. Truth Social is informal, it's fast, it carries no institutional weight, but it's unfiltered. The message reaches millions exactly as written. The emotional temperature stays intact. The binary framing, you're with me or against me, comes through clear. One is powerful but processed, the other is weak-looking but raw. Trump chose the raw one. And it worked better than the official one would have. More people saw it, it spread faster. It consolidated his base more effectively. Media had to repeat his exact words to criticize him, which spread it further. This isn't impulsiveness, this is choosing the cheapest, strongest weapon available. A teenager uses social media because they don't know any better. Trump uses it because he understands the cost structure. Official channels are expensive in the ways that matter, they filter your message and dilute your force. Informal channels are cheap, they let you reach people directly with full emotional intensity intact. He's not acting like a teenager. He's acting like someone who understands that the old infrastructure of power, press conferences, official statements, institutional formality is slower and weaker than the new infrastructure. Direct is stronger than filtered, raw is stronger than processed, fast is stronger than formal. So here's the question that actually matters. Does Trump use Truth Social because it's convenient, because it's easy, because that's what people do now? Or does he use it because it's the cheapest way to reach the most people with the strongest emotional force, completely unfiltered by institutional gatekeepers? One explanation is personality, the other is structure. One says he's impulsive, the other says he understands power. The difference matters because if it's just personality, it's a flaw that could be corrected. If it's structure, it's a strategy that will keep working as long as the incentives stay the same. Truth Social reaches more people faster and hotter than a press conference ever could. That's not luck, that's not coincidence, that's a channel cost structure that favors speed and emotion over formality and filter. And as long as that structure exists, as long as unfiltered messages spread faster than filtered ones, Trump, or anyone else who understands this, will keep using it. Not because they're a teenager. Because it works.